Broadcasting live from the Riddicks via OBS Studio Broadcast Center at Centennial Sportsplex. This is GNASH Hockey on the Middle Tennessee Sports Network as we are wrapping up Week 4 of the regular season in this 2-week period where everybody gets their fall break and some time off before we dive into the heart of the schedule and start playing full bore for the next 5 weeks until Thanksgiving week. Just one game in the league tonight. Independence-Centennial taking on Page Summit here on Rink A. Both teams looking for their second win of the season. The Spartriots looking to join Ravenwood and Nolensville at the top of the table with 2 wins, no losses, and 1 tie through 3 games. Well, Independence-Centennial look to jump 1 point behind the Raptors and the Knights. Join that group at 2-1 that includes NBA, Father Ryan, and Franklin. In fact, I think, and Hendersonville. Those are the 4 teams currently at 2-1-0. Let me again apologize for the fact that I sound like crap. I am still overcoming a head cold. At least I only have this game tonight, and then I'm done until next week. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it. We're only doing 1 game next week on Monday, and then I'm gonna take Wednesday off, and then I'll be back on the 27th. That was pre-planned. That wasn't because I'm not feeling great. That was planned in advance. All right. Let's go over the final scores from Monday. There were only 3 games. Ravenwood beat Mount Juliet Wilson Central 11-8-2. Nolensville beat the Rutherford Rampage 6-1. And Hendersonville beat Lawson beat Franklin 2-0. And here are the standings. With 21 out of 120 regular season games, scheduled regular season games in the books, Ravenwood and Nolensville sitting atop the table at 2-0-1. 2 wins, no losses, 1 tie. Station Camp Liberty Creek, Nashville Christian with 2 wins out of just 2 games. Then you've got NBA, Franklin, Father Ryan, and Hendersonville beats Lawson all at 2-1-0. 2 wins, 1 loss, no tie. Page Summit at 1-0-1. 1 win, no losses, 1 tie. Independence-Centennial, Ensworth, Lipscomb, CPA, and the Clarksville Kings all at 1-1-0. 1 win, 1 loss, no ties. JP2MLK GCS at 0-1-1. No wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. Rutherford Rampage and the Tennessee Outlaws both at 0-2-1. No wins, 2 losses, 1 tie. Brentwood BA USN 0-2, no wins, 2 losses, no ties. And Mount Juliet Wilson Central Lebanon sitting at the bottom of the standings with 4 losses out of 4 games. It's just the 1 game tonight. Indy Centennial taking on Page Summit here on Rink A coming up in a few minutes. Let's talk about the 2 teams playing our lone game this evening. First up, Independence-Centennial, coached by Mark Lane. Coming into tonight with 1 win and 1 loss. They opened the regular season with that heartbreaking 3-2 loss to Nolensville on September 22nd, where Jackson Mayer scored the game winner with 3.8 seconds left, and then bounced back a week later with a 2-0 win over Father Ryan on September 29th. So here are their stats coming into tonight. Nick Kloss and Spencer Pacholko, each with 2 points from a goal and an assist. Harrington Walker has 2 points from assists. Aiden Gardner and Bryson Patton each have a point from a goal. On to goalie play. David Busby has played in both games, so his record matches the team's 1-1-0. He's played the full 84 minutes, allowed 3 goals and 54 shots, turned away the other 51. His save percentage in the regular season so far is .944. He has 1 shutout. That game that 2-0 win over Father Ryan was a shutout, and his goals against average in the regular season so far is .150. Let's move on to Page Summit, coached by Greg Sowers. Their offense has been good in the first 2 games, their first 2 games of the season. Open up the regular season with a 6-2 win over JP2 MLK GCS on September 24th. And then that crazy 6-6 tie with Ravenwood on September 29th. Braden Owen, the team's leading scorer, he has 5 points from 3 goals and 2 assists. Hudson Alters has 4 points from 3 goals and an assist. Madden Chandler has 4 points, all from assists. Aiden Garner, has 3 points from 2 goals and an assist. Reeve Gable with 2 points from goals. Aiden Meyer and Elijah Selby each with 2 points from assists. Liam Garner and Hunter Haley each have a point from a goal. And Tyler Bell and Landon Ellis each have a point from an assist. Moving on to goalie play. Each goalie has gotten a start. Justin Yanuchili playing in the game against JP2. The Spartriots won, so his record is 1-0-0. Played the full 42 minutes. Allowed 2 goals and 18 shots, turned away the other 16. His save percentage in the regular season so far is .889, and his goals against average is 2. Brady Tessier played in the game against Ravenwood, so his record is 0-0-1. Played the full 42 minutes, allowed 6 goals and 23 shots, turned away the other 17. His save percentage in the regular season so far is .739. His goals against average is 6 even. Both teams out on the ice warming up, and they just started the warm-up clock a few seconds ago, so just now under 2 minutes left in the warm-up. I will say that Page has some sharp new unis for tonight, sharp new home sweaters. They're white with blue numbers. They got the Page logo on the front. Blue trim on the front. Stars in the sleeves. And stars on the bottom of the sweater on the back. So that's nice. Inside the final minute of the warm-up now. I'll go ahead and dig out my rosters here. Yeah, the only game we're covering next week is that JP2 Hendersonville game because they got that trophy on the line for it, the Rock Castle Cup. I know there are a couple other big games on Monday. You got NBA and Ravenwood playing each other on Monday. And you got Nolensville against Franklin. I don't know why all 3 of those games are being played on the same night next week. It's not like it's playoffs and we got to have them that way. Like those 2 games, NBA Ravenwood and Nolensville Franklin, should be scheduled for next Wednesday. And JP2 Hendersonville should be here on Rink A at 8:15 on Monday, but they're playing over on Rink B at 7:40, which that stinks for that game. It means I can't do PA unless they got a wire. They've got a wireless mic here on Rink A. I wonder if they got one over on. No, it's not wireless. It's not wireless. Okay, well. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do PA for that one. Not really sure what the holdup is. The officials at the scorekeeper box. Page have their full line out for the faceoff, and now Indy with their, well, they've got one player left that they need to put out there for the faceoff, and he's coming. We've got a full four-man officiating crew. I guess they were waiting on the other officials to arrive. All right, ready to go with the start of this one. Justin Yanuchili going to start in goal for Page Summit. David Busby going to start in goal for Indy for this first period. Page will carry the puck from my left to right. Indy Centennial from my right to left. And this game is underway. Page winning the opening draw. They're going to bring it into the Indy zone. On the left wing side, put in front. They score right away. Wow. No, they did not score. Oh, my goodness. How did that stay out? Puck fired into the Indy zone from center. It was Hudson Halters setting up Madden Chandler, and I don't know how Busby was down. I don't know how Chandler didn't score there. Page getting the puck back into the Indy zone. Oh, my goodness. Halters walked right down that left wing, centered it for Chandler, who had Busby dead to rights, and somehow that puck did not go in. Chandler, left wing side of the Indy zone. Puck in the slot, a shot from Braden Owen is turned away. Well, I guess Busby saved it because they were late putting that shot up on the board. Now the puck to the Page net, and Yanuchili having to knock it away. George Logazar trying to keep it in, but Hunter Haley knocks it out. So Busby must have made a really good save on that Halters chance about 10 seconds in. Puck at center on the far side. Now sent back into the Indy zone. It's at the end boards. Indy clearing it out. Picked up by Jonah Ferguson at center. Passes to the near side. Ryan Ellis going around the back of the Indy net. Comes out to the left wing side, puts it in front, went off a stick. Here's the shot in the bottom of the right circle, turned away by Busby. That shot coming from Reeve Gable. Indy carried the puck out to center, but Gable with a pickpocket brought it back into the Indy zone, but then he lost it at the blue line. Elijah Selby coming off the bench and sending the puck back into the Indy zone. Icing waved off because there were Indy players going to the bench who could have played it legally without triggering a too many men call. Selby shot in the right point, blocked as Indy clear it out. Aiden Garner through center into the Indy zone. High slot, a shot. Gloved and held on to by Busby. And that sequence took the first 2 minutes and 44 seconds off the clock. But my goodness, David Busby, the great save on Hudson Halters. About 10 seconds in, Indy should be up 1-0, but instead it's 0-0. Draws to Busby's right. Indy won the draw, but they turn it right over to Page. Puck going into the right wing corner. Brought out in front, and a shot missed from the bottom of the right circle. Tyler Bell firing it past the net to the left of Busby. Now it's carried around the back of the net, brought back to the near side. Indy cleared the puck, and it went off an Indy stick near the Page blue line, so No icing. As the puck went into the Spartriot zone, Conley Meeks with it now. Has it poked off his stick by Aiden Gardner, who then fires off a shot from an on angle. On the goal line below the bottom of the left circle that Janu Chile gloves, and actually didn't glove it. He had it pinned up against the right side of his body with his arm. 10:16 to go in the first. No goals on the board yet. Draws to the right of Janu Chile. One by Page. Landon Ellis passing across to the far side at center. And it is poked off the stick of Camden Mullen, but kept in the zone by Landon Ellis. Now the puck brought back into the Page zone. Nick Kloss could not get around Colin Breedlove. He gets the puck back. Brings it around to the right wing corner. Sends it over to the near side. Now it's in the left wing corner. Gardner with it. Aiden Gardner. Gardner, not Garner. Now at the right point with it is Owen Brott. Tried to carry it down the slot. It poked away. Page trying to get it out of the zone. They do. It was backhanded out of the zone by Liam Garner. Puck dumped back into the Indy zone. Busby out to play it. Oh, and now a steal by Braden Owen, right wing side of the Indy zone, and he couldn't get off the shot because Kloss got right on top of him and wouldn't let him shoot. Puck cleared out by Indy. It's back in the Page zone, picked up by Halters. Passes up the far side to Chandler, who had it poked off his stick and sent back into the Page zone. Correction, is Jonah Ferguson with it. Under pressure from Bryson Patton, drops it behind the net for Aiden Garner, who clears it out up the far side. And number 38 for Indy, I'm not sure who that is, had a chance to play it, so they waved off the icing as it went down, and he'll bring it to center. Now back into the Page zone. Gets around Aiden Garner and score! Janu Chile opened up the 5-hole, and number 38 able to send it into the back of the net. Again, I'm not sure who that is. There's nobody with number 38 on the roster, so he forgot his jersey, whoever it is. And Indy-Centennial have a 1-0 lead with 8:25 to go in the first. Indy Summit, boy, that's a throwback from a decade ago. So during intermission, I'm going to have to find out who's wearing number 38 because the game sheet isn't live yet for some stupid reason. So during the break between the first and second period, I'm going to have to go find out who's number 38 for Indy. Here's a chance for Hunter Haley, putting it in front. Shot stop, rebound. Oh! Busby making a terrific save on Ryan Ellis. Busby was doing the splits in the crease, and Ellis got off a backhander from the slot that Busby was able to turn away. Puck sent all the way down back into the Page zone. Comes around to the near side, and it was just held in atop the blue line by Oscar Dubon, who gets off a shot on goal that Janu Chile had to steer away. Now the puck going through center back into the Indy zone, picked up. And shot from the right circle by Aiden Meyer. I think it missed the net. Puck out on the far side. And Indy with it again. Brought back into the Page zone, put in front. Centering pass by Harrington Walker. Trying to go backdoor to Oliver Weedman was broken up. And up, Aiden Meyer tripping Caleb Mills. And I think we're going to have a penalty here. Yep. Well, it's Ryan Ellis is going into the box for tripping. So Indy getting the first power play of the game with 7:03 to go in the first, already up 1-0. Draw one by Page, but turned right over to Indy. Nick Kloss, bottom of the left circle, lost the puck in the skates of Elijah Selby, and that allows Hudson Halters to clear. Indy get it back at center. Sent back into the Page zone. Comes around the boards to the near side. Selby trying to clear it out. Lands in the skates of Kloss. Now to the end boards. Hudson Halters chasing it around. It's taken away, and a shot from the right circle to be turned away by Janu Chile. That was Kloss shooting. Puck cleared out by Page. It's back in the Indy zone in the left wing corner. Cleared out by Indy. Here's Harrington Walker at center. Brings it into the Page zone on the left wing side. Past the slot. Aiden Gardner a shot. Misses the net to the left of Janu Chile. Page trying to clear it out and unable to keep it alive at the right point was Owen Broad as it hopped over his stick. Under a minute left in the power play for Indy. Broad brings the puck back into the Page zone. Sends it over to the near side. And Harrington Walker passed it up to the left point, but nobody was there, and the puck goes all the way back down into the Indy zone. Nick Kloss has it poked off his stick right at the Page blue line. Jonah Ferguson brings the puck back into the Indy zone from center. Ferguson in front, poked off his stick. A poke check by Busby right when he got to the front of the net. 15 seconds left in the power play for Indy. Aiden Gardner having the puck poked off his stick as he brings it back into the Page zone. Penalty time against Page is up. They're back at even strength. Gardner, left circle, forced to go into the right circle, forced to go into the right wing corner. Gets back, is up a shot, save, rebound, score! Janu Chile made a right leg pad save at the left-hand post, but he left the net wide open, and Spencer Pacholka was there to bang in the rebound to make it 2-0 Indy Centennial with 4:53 to go in the first. Here's Avery Azaminia. Shot from the top of the right circle, off a stick and past the net. It comes out to the left-hand side of the net. Janu Chile covers. Draws to Janu Chile's left. Won by Indy. Tyler Bell on the far side. Backhanding it back into the Indy zone, and it went past a bunch of Indy players, so icing waved off. Puck now over on the right wing corner. Now the puck came out in front of the Indy net, but nobody in a white sweater could get to it. Oscar Dubon bringing it through center back into the Page zone. Had it poked away by Aiden Garner. Garner behind his own net. Spinning around. Tried to pass it ahead to center, and Reeve Gable couldn't get his stick on it. Icing waved off. I'm not sure why. Aiden Gardner brings it back into the Page zone on the right wing side. Tried to pass it off to Nick Anusadis. Pass was too hot for him to handle. It went out of the zone, brought back in. Anusadis, top of the right circle. Had it poked off his stick. Breedlove can't clear. Aiden Gardner shot in the high slot, turned away by Janu Chile. Puck coming over to the near side. Here's Bryson Patton passing up to the left point. And Easton Romano, who passed it over to Owen Broughton, and almost went out of the zone, but Brought held it in atop the blue line. Brought at the right point. Passing it over to the left circle. Aiden Gardner centering pass. Anusadis couldn't get a stick on it from in front. It's poked out of the zone by Hunter Haley. It's back in the Indy zone. Romano tracking it down, trying to clear. It's held in at the left point by Aiden Meyer. But Ryan Ellis has it poked away, and Indy send it back into the Page zone. Puck in the left wing corner. Patton with it, passing out to the blue line, and number 38. Again, I'm not sure who that is. He gets off a shot in the top of the right circle that's turned away by Janu Chile. And Hudson Halters will clear the zone. Puck out at center on the far side. Halters tapping it over to the middle of the ice, and Ryan Ellis who pushes it over the Indy blue line. Halters catches up to it. And nice job by Harrington Walker on the back check to poke it away. Bryson Patton tried to bring it back into the Page zone, and it poked away right at the blue line by Cullen Breedlove. It is dumped in by Walker. Elijah Selby from behind the net, sending it around the boards to the far side. Breedlove tried to fire it ahead to Madden Chandler, missed his stick and goes for an icing with 1:45 to go in the first, and Indy up 2-0. Is the game sheet up yet? I got to refresh. Find out who's wearing number 38 for Indy. Nope. Still not up. Draw to the left of Janu Chile. As Page win the draw and get it all the way into the Indy zone deep. Dubon on the near side, clearing it out. Hudson Halters will bring it back in on the left wing. Had it poked off his stick by Walker. Oh, man, Chandler, the puck poked off his stick, trying to go down the slot. Indy bring it back. Through center into the Page zone, and a shot from the top of the right circle, kicked away by Janu Chile. That was from Caleb Mills. Dubon out of the blue line, last minute of the first. Puck sent down the wall to the inboards. Harrington Walker passing it out towards the right point, and a shot. Ooh, took a deflection. Had to be turned away by Janu Chile. Now Dubon with a shot from the left faceoff dot, stopped and held onto by Janu Chile. 42.2 seconds left in the first, still 2-0 Indy. Draws to the right of Janu Chile. Big battle for the puck off the draw. Gardner with it. With a backhander. He went to the right-hand side of the net and backhanded it across the front of the net. 30 seconds left in the period. Owen Brott keeping the puck alive at the blue line. Now Gardner at the end boards trying to put it out in front. It's intercepted up, but Camden Mullen couldn't keep it in his stick. Owen Brott tried to carry it down the right circle. It was poked away from him. Now Elijah Selby out at center. Brings it back into the Indy zone on the right wing side. Taken away by the Eagles, and they clear. Aiden Gardner catches up to it inside the Page zone. He'll clear it out, and that's the end of the first. 2 goals for Indy. I know Spencer Pachalko scored 1. I'm not sure who had that other goal. After 1 period, it's 2-0 Indy Centennial over Page Summit. I'm going to go find out who's wearing number 38 for Page. Ready to start the second period of this one. David Busby still in goal for Centennial. Justin Yanuchili still in goal for Page Summit. For this second period, Indy will carry the puck from my left to right. Page Summit from my right to left. Play is back underway. The puck in the Page zone, out in front of the net, and it's cleared out. And are we going to have coincidentals here? We had two players tussling next to the Indy net. Yep, we're going to have coincidentals. It's Aiden Gardner and Aiden Garner going to the box. I think they said interference against Gardner and roughing against Garner. 13:24 to go in the second. Indy up 2-0. So coincidentals, it'll stay 5-on-5. So wearing number 38 for Indy is Cash Branyan. He's the one who scored the opening goal in the first period. He was not on the Indy roster until today, so that's a new kid I got to write down. I got to find out which school he goes to. Harrington Walker with the puck in his zone, passing it up the far side, trying to get it out. Page getting it back. Here's Madden Chandler up, getting knocked off the puck as he brings it into the Indy zone. Hudson Halters with a backhander from the right circle, stopped by Busby. And the puck is iced by Indy. 12:41 to go in the second. Still 2-0. Indy Centennial. Draw is to the left of Busby. One by Page and a shot from Bell to be turned away by Busby right off the draw. Here's Nick Kloss through center back into the Page zone. Turned over the puck. Page turning it over, trying to get it out. Now Tyler Bell brings it to center. A 3-on-2. Oh, he left it behind him. He left it behind him going right to the Indy blue line, and nobody from Page could touch it because it would have triggered an offside. So Indy able to clear the zone. Now it's back in the Indy zone, and Branyan beats Conley Meeks to it. Branyan through center into the Page zone. Could not get around the back checker, Jonah Ferguson. Puck cleared out by Page from the far side. Now brought back in by Harrington Walker. Walker has it taken away. And Braden Owen gets knocked down trying to bring it out of the Page zone. It's still in there. Nick Kloss with it. Shot from the top of the right circle. Stopped and held onto by Yanuchili. 11:21 to go in the second. Still 2-0 Indy, who are the dominant team in this game so far. Draw was to the left of Yanuchili. Page clear it out. Easton Romano dropping it back to Owen Brott. Tried to pass it ahead to George Logazar. Went off his stick into the Page zone. Now it's brought to center by Braden Owen. Owen, right wing side of the Indy zone. Trying to center it for Hunter Haley. And went off his stick and went past the net to the right of Busby. Puck held in by Nathan Baldwin at the blue line. He backhands it into the right wing corner. Now one pass to the slot. Aiden Meyer passing out to the left point, and Baldwin. Baldwin tried to shoot, hit the skates of Bryson Patton. Puck sent back up to Baldwin. Top of the left circle. Shot stopped by Busby. He's got it covered. He was screened by Hunter Haley, but made the save and covered. 10:38 to go in the second. Still 2-0. Indy-Centennial as Gardner and Garner, Aiden Garner, are released from the box after serving their coincidentals. Draw is going to be to the right of Busby. Draw one by Indy and Page, and Hudson Alters passed it to the far side, but Elijah Selby wasn't in position to keep the puck in the zone. It's back in the Indy zone. Oscar Dubon sending it around the boards to the far side. Chalco tried to clear it out, but it's held in by Halters and sent back down to the inboards. And Chandler trying to pass it up to the right point, gives it right to Pachalko, and then Chandler pickpockets him, carrying it to the bottom of the right circle. Soft backhander on goal, stopped and covered up by Busby. 10:03 to go in the second, still 2-0 Indy. The game sheet is not up, and it's not going to be up because they don't have the iPad over there in the score box. They are keeping score on a sheet of paper. So they're going to have to turn it into somebody when this game is over, and somebody will have to enter the info onto the game sheet. Draw to the left of Busby, won by Page, and a shot on the right point, and Colin Breedlove stopped and held onto by Busby. So they'll drop it to his left again, as Indy will change the defensive pairing for this face-off. One by Page again. Colin Breedlove, another shot from the right point. Stopped by Busby. Rebound, they're trying to stuff it in. And they blew the whistle. Chandler and Halters were trying to bang it in at the left-hand post, but Busby was keeping it out, and they blew the whistle before Halters knocked it in. So no goal there. So they'll drop it to Busby's left again. It's won by Indy. Out at center with it, Harrington Walker carrying it down the slot into the Page zone, getting off a shot that I don't think came on goal. He had two defenders all over him. I think one of them lifted his stick. I don't know why I thought that was Logazar. He was number 15. Now the puck out at center again. Back in the Indy zone. Walker with it. Oh, he gives it away to Madden Chandler. Chandler could not get past Nick Kloss going to the slot. Walker sending it to the far side. Caleb Mills backhands it over to Nick Kloss. Kloss through center into the Page zone on the left wing side. Goes to the front. There, a shot stopped by Yonder Chile. Puck put out front, score! Not sure who it is just yet. He put it out in front and went off of something and in. Looks like it's Caleb Mills. And it's now 3-0 Indy-Centennial with 8:58 to go in the second. I'm going to be honest, folks, I didn't see this game going this way. Here's Bryson Patton sending it across the front of the net from the bottom of the right circle of the Page zone. Puck out at center. Aiden Gardner with it. He'll dump it back into the Page end. Now it's back in the Indy zone on the right wing side. Landon Ellis trying to put it out in front from the right wing corner. That's broken up. Oscar Dubon trying to pass it to Aiden Gardner, and it came to Gardner even though it went off the stick of Camden Mullen on its way. Mullen pinning Gardner up against the far boards on the far side at center. Far boards on the far side. I said far boards. I should have just said far boards at center. Gardner pushed down from behind as he carried the puck around the back of the Page net. And now Aiden Gardner brings it to center. And tried to dump it to the inboards of the Indy zone. It went off a stick and into the netting above the glass off an Indy stick of a back checker. 7:42 to go in the second. Still 3-0 Indy. Well, they're saying that went off Gardner all the way, so they're going to drop the puck on the dot across from the Page bench at center. Won by Page, and a shot on goal from center off the draw from Jonah Ferguson, and to be turned away by Busby. Now Nick Kloss dumping the puck back into the Page zone. Colin Breedlove from his own zone. Passing it ahead to center. Nick Kloss poking it away from Conley Meeks. Now he brings it back into the Page zone. Shot in the right circle. Misses the net to the left of Yanu Chile. Logazart keeps it alive to the left point. Oh, but then he doesn't pass it off hard enough. Stolen by Meeks and brought back into the Indy zone. But Oliver Weedman jumps into his lane and forces the puck off him. Now it's behind the Indy net. Tyler Bell brings it out in front of shot. Hit the outside of the post to the left of Busby. Here's Harrington Walker through center. Back into the Page zone on the right wing side. Stops looking for help. Puck comes over to the far side. Tate Butcher. Now the puck cleared out by Page. Now the puck sent back into the Indy zone. Hunter Haley up, trying to backhand it over the far side, hit the skates of Bryson Patton. Now it's back in the Page zone. Shot from Easton Romano was blocked. Sorry, it was Caleb Mills. And Page able to clear the puck out only as far as center. Nick Kloss waited for his teammates to get back inside. Tried to bring it back in, but it was poked off his stick by Braden Owen. Now here's Owen back into the Indy zone on the left wing side. Gets off a shot. Stopped and held onto by Busby. Kind of deflected by Romano with his stick, but not enough to change the trajectory. 7:35 to go in the second. Still 3-0 Indy. Draw is going to be to Busby's right. One by Indy. Caleb Mills backhands it out of the zone, but it's picked up by Aiden Gardner. Brought right back in from center. Gets off a shot that's deflected past the net to the left of Busby. Now here's Bryson Patton, right wing side of the Page zone. Passing the puck off. Caleb Mills, a shot. Stopped and out onto by Yanu Chile. Face off will be to Yanu Chile's left. One by Indy. Cash Brannion with it, right point. Trying to pass it down. Taken away by Page. Here comes Madden Chandler, left wing side of the Indy zone. Tried to pass it over to Ryan Ellis. Went off of Easton Romano. Chandler with it again. Bottom right circle shot. Just missed the net to the right of Busby. Bryson Patton passing it over to the far side. Avery Azamini at center. Has it taken away, and Jonah Ferguson dumps it back into the Indy zone. Now Hudson Halters in the left circle. A shot stopped by Busby. Rebound bounced away from Ryan Ellis, who was in front. Puck held in at the left point and sent back down low by Nathan Baldwin. Now Easton Romano taking the puck and backhanding over to Bryson Patton, who brings it out to center. Patton has it poked off his stick right at the Page blue line. Page with it at center. Baldwin carries it over to the far side and backhands it into the Indy zone. Now it's stolen behind the Indy net. Ryan Ellis trying to bring it out in front. David Busby poked it away. Cash Branyan firing it ahead to the Page blue line to Aiden Gardner, but he crossed the blue line before the puck came his way, so offside. It's going to be an intentional offside. They're going to drop the puck inside the Indy zone. 6:02 to go in the second. Still 3-0 Indy Centennial. Draws to Busby's left. Won by Page, but unable to keep it in the zone at the right point was Colin Breedlove. Owen Brought with it inside the Indy zone. Owen Brought out at center. Right wing side of the Page zone. Now the puck sliding through center back into the Indy end. Oscar Dubon is going to get to it before Conley Meeks. Passes across to Brought. Brought ahead to Gardner out at center. Aiden Gardner into the Page zone, trying to get around the defender. Gets off a backhander. Stopped and covered up by Yanu Chile at his left-hand post. 5:18 to go in the second. Still 3-0 Indy. Draw is going to be to the left of Yanu Chile. Won by Indy. Puck sent around the boards to the far side, but cleared out by Page. This will be an icing, though. No, it's waved off. It's waved off. Nick Kloss will get to it at the Indy end boards. Gets around Braden. No, the puck stolen right. Oh, they call offside. I guess it just went over the blue line. Aiden Meyer pushed it back in and then touched it up. Offside. So a big break for Indy there because Meyer would have been a clear path to the front of the net. Draw's going to be on the dot in front of the Page bench. And it is won by Indy. Nick Kloss sending it up the far boards. Back into the Page zone. Comes to the front of the net. Had to be jabbed away by Yanu Chile. Here's Braden Owen back into the Indy zone. Bottom of the left circle gets off a shot that's stopped by Busby. Tried to lift it over Busby. Put it into his chest. Puck out on the far boards. Now it's in the right wing corner. Hunter Haley puts it out in front. Oh, but unable to settle it down to get off a shot was Aiden Meyer. Meyer carries it out to the blue line. Tried to leave it at the right point, but Harrington Walker swipes it away from Aiden Gardner. Walker back in the Page zone. Shot the left circle, score! Harrington Walker with a steal. Carries it down the ice and fires it into the back of the net from the left circle, and it's 4-0 Indy with 4:14 to go in the second. And Indy have called their timeout. And I'm going to go see if it was Caleb Mills who had that other Indy goal early in this period. That was Caleb Mills, who had the Indy goal that made it 3-0 earlier in this period. And now Harrington Walker has scored to make it 4-0. Timeout done. Indy won the draw off the timeout. So again, Page called the timeout. Cash Brandon giving it away to Elijah Selby. Now here's Braden Owen dropping it back. Hudson Halters in front. A shot stopped by Busby. Found Halters all alone in the slot. He carried it to the front of the net, and Busby with a save. Puck back in the Page zone. Here's Aiden Gardner. It's Garner, not Gardner. Page's Aiden Garner. I know he'd be thrown off by that at some point. Owen Brought dropping it down to the right wing corner, passed out to the right point. Cash Brennan moving down the right wing, getting off a shot that I think Yanu Chile got a piece of. Missed the net to his right. I think he got a piece of it. Now Braden Owen back in the Indy zone on the right wing side, looking for help. Hudson Halters picks up the puck, carries in front, a shot stopped by Busby. Now Branyan behind his own net. Oh, trying to pass it up the ice. Knocked down by Madden Chandler. Here's Halters in the slot, a shot, score. Branyan tried to pass it up ice, but Chandler knocked it down in the high slot, handed it off to Halters, and he fires it into the roof of the net from the high slot. Page finally on the board. It is 4-1 Indy Centennial with 2:54 to go in the second. They've got the iPad out, so they finally got the game sheet up. Puck in the Indy zone, it's cleared out. Icing waved off as Avery Ezeminia fell over on the far side at center. Madden Chandler backhands the puck back into the Indy zone. It's in the left wing corner. Coming around to the near side. Nick Kloss brings it back into the Page zone. Now it's cleared out. Oscar Dubon at center. Backhands it over to Oliver Weedman. Sent ahead to Nick Kloss. Whiff trying to send it back into the Page zone. It's coming around the boards to the far side. It's out on the far side and brought out to center. And chipped back into the Indy zone by Aiden Meyer. Meyer catching up to it, right wing corner, trying to put it in front. But the pass broken up by Nick Kloss, putting down the stick. Now Meyer behind the net. Putting it out in front. It's in the skates of Oscar Dubon, who clears it out of the zone. He was looking for Chandler. Meyer was looking for Chandler at the front of the net. Kloss. Oh, he gives the puck away to Chandler. Right to the blue line. Chandler in front of shot. Stopped by Busby. Now Halters behind the net. Correction, it's Ryan Ellis. And there's a head contact call. Looks like it's against Nick Kloss. So that's a 2 and a 10. And that's going to give Page their first power play of the game, down 4-1 with 69 seconds to go in the second. Draws to the left of Busby. Draw's going to be to Busby's left. And the linesman having to confirm with the ref that it is a 2 and 10, so somebody from Indy has to serve the 2. Puck on the end boards off the draw. Aiden Meyer with it. Passes it up to the right point. Aiden Garner, final minute of the second. Tried to go back to Hunter Haley at the blue line. The puck went out of the zone. Not sure if that was intentional to set up or not. Aiden Garner brings it back into the right wing side. Round the back of the net. Comes out to the left wing. Passes across to Chandler, right point. Moving down the right wing. Try to go back across to Haley in the left circle. It missed him. Haley putting it out in front. Goes out to the far side. And Chandler. High slot shot off his stick and over the net. Under 30 seconds left in the second. Puck comes up to the left point and Chandler. Across to Garner. Aiden Garner. Try to pass across to Hudson Halters. That was read by Harrington Walker all the way, and he'll pass it to center and Bryson Patton. Minute left in the power play for Page. Page take the puck back inside their own zone. They're going to have to hurry. Madden Chandler back in the Indy zone. He's going to have to get off a shot. Nope, time runs out. He's dropping the puck back to Haley, and that is it for the second. Caleb Mills and Harrington Walker extended the Indy Centennial lead to 4-0. Then a steal inside the Indy zone sees Hudson Halters getting Page Summit on the board. And now they are trailing Indy Centennial 4-1 at the end of 2. Ready to start the third and final period of this one. Justin Yanuchili still in goal for Page Summit. David Busby still in goal for Indy Centennial for this third and final period. Page will carry the puck from my left to right. Indy from my right to left. Page with 50 seconds of power play time, carrying over to the start of this third period. Indy win the draw and dump it into the into the Page zone. Good Lord. Braden Owen brings the puck into the Indy zone. A shot off the left shoulder of David Busby. Puck out in front. Indy able to clear. 30 seconds left in the power play for Page. Aiden Garner passing it up the far side. Puck deflected back into the Indy zone. And Indy take it away and they clear. Garner. Aiden Garner. Backhands it over to Braden Owen. Owen out at center. Back into the Indy zone. Penalty time against Indy is up. They're back at even strength. Here's Aiden Garner trying to go to the slot. Sends it to the front of the net. Owen couldn't get a stick on it as he was going that way. Puck behind the net. Passed out to the blue line. Aiden Garner, a shot, misses the net to the left of Busby. Puck cleared out of the zone. And Hunter Haley trying to backhand it back into the Indy end, ends up backhanding it out of play on the near side. 12:45 to go. Still 4-1 Indy. Draw is going to be on the dot in front of the Page bench. One by Indy. Dumped into the Page zone. Colin Breedlove gets to it. Sends it over to the far side. Jonah Ferguson. Trying to pass it ahead to Camden Mullen. I don't know what happened. The puck came to a dead stop. Page bringing it out of the zone. Now, Harrington Walker with it. Loses it at center. Here's Landon Ellis as it poked off his stick. It's back in the Page zone. Walker past the slot, off the skate of Bryson Patton, past the net to the right of Yanu Chile. Puck out in front. Here's Landon Ellis. Camden Mullen, left wing side of the Indy zone. Puck sent around the boards to the near side. Now the puck back in the Indy zone and cleared out by the Eagles. Now Liam Garner with it in the Page zone across to Jonah Ferguson. Passing it up the far side. Camden Mullen, he left it in his own zone. Harrington Walker picks it up, brought it out to center. Now he brings it back in, pokes it into the right wing corner. Now Conley Meeks. Banks it off the near boards. He's out at center, sent back into the Page zone. Spencer Pacholko on the far side. Behind the net, had the puck, was pushed off the puck by Conley Meeks. Now here's Tate Butcher trying to carry it to the slot as it poked away. Ryan Ellis out at center. Into the Indy zone on the right wing side. But getting back was Oscar Dubon to get the puck off of him, and it goes out of the zone on the far side. Aiden Garner banks it off a partition back into the Indy zone. Conley Meeks in the slot, double teamed and knocked off the puck by Aiden Gardner and Tate Butcher. Here's Gardner to center. Back into the Page zone. Now the puck out at center. Ryan Ellis on the near side. Crosses the red line, dumps it into the Indy zone, goes to the bench for a change. Puck brought to center by Cash Brannion. Sends it back into the Page zone, but right to Elijah Selby, who's able to get it out with help from Gable. Puck back in the Indy zone. Owen Brott with it for the Eagles. Now here's Caleb Mills, left wing side of the Page zone, fires it past the net to the right of Yanu Chile from the left circle. Cash Brannion keeping it alive at the blue line, but he fumbles the puck, and it goes out of the zone to center. Brott drops it back to Brannion. Passing it up the far side. Now it's backhanded back into the Page zone. And now Page turning it over inside their own zone. Aiden Garner losing it to Caleb Mills, who couldn't keep his stick on it. And now Aiden Meyer brings it out to center. Back into the Indy zone on the left wing side. Gets off a shot. It's scooped up off the ice by Busby with his glove. 8:54 to go in the game. Still 4-1 Indy. You know, from the teams playing this game, there are a lot of past GNASH co-op combos. Centennial and Page were a co-op at one point. Indy and Summit, Indy and Page. Draw was to the right of Busby, won by Indy, and a shot from Nathan Baldwin off the draw to be turned away. Now the puck out in front of the Indy net, and a shot stopped by Busby by Liam Garner as he was turning around in the right circle. Now another shot in the bottom of the right circle, turned away by Busby. That was from Braden Owen. Indy bring the puck out to center. Here's Liam Garner. Shot from the right circle, stopped and covered up by Busby. 8:15 to go. Still 4-1 Indy. Draw is going to be to the left of Busby. Page win it. Nathan Baldwin couldn't keep it in the zone on the left point. He'll send it back in. A couple of his teammates had to get back on side, though. Now there's Cash Brannion through center, back into the Page zone, going to the slot. Puck knocked away by Jonah Ferguson. Now Landon Ellis brings it back into the Indy zone, but his pass to the slot is intercepted. Harrington Walker up offside. Oh, Harrington Walker was about to go down the slot to the front of the net, but Bryson Patton entered the zone before Walker did to trigger the offside whistle. 7:39 to go, still 4-1 Indy. Draw is going to be on the dot in front of the Page bench. Page with it in the Indy zone. Here's Braden Owen, left circle. Shot stopped and covered up by Busby. Draws to the right of Busby. One by Page and a shot from the left point, and Aiden Garner turned away by Busby. Page get it back inside the zone. Hudson Halters on the far side. Puck carried to the front, or sent to the front of the net, and the shot, I think it was either missed or Busby got a piece of it. That was Madden Chandler out in front. No correction. Not sure who that is, but he just got off a shot that was stopped and covered up by Busby from the right circle. It was Haley, Hunter Haley. 6:52 to go, still 4-1 Indy. Draws to the left of Busby. One by Page. Shot from Aiden Garner at the left point. Misses the net. Puck carried out to center. Now it's back in the Page zone. Aiden Garner passing it up the far side. Here is Hunter Haley. It's cleared out by Indy. Now Hudson Halters brings it back into the Indy zone. Shot in the high slot. Stopped and held on to by Busby. Draw is going to be to Busby's left again. Draw one by Indy. Puck carried to center by Harrington Walker. Brought back into the Page zone. Poked off his stick. Now here's Jonah Ferguson through center. Back into the Indy zone on the right wing side. Gets off a shot and misses the net. Went across the front of the net and past the post to the right of Busby. Ryan Ellis in the right wing corner. Now a shot from Colin Breedlove at the right point. Stopped and held on to by Busby. 5:46 to go. Still 4-1 Indy. As Page are running away in shots on goal. Board reads 32-17. It should be 33-34. But they have begun dominating puck possession, and they still can't get the puck past David Busby. Draws to his left. One by Page and a shot from Aiden Meyer. Stop, rebound, score! Tyler Bell. Aiden Meyer with a shot off the draw, stopped by Busby at his left-hand post. Puck came across to the right-hand side of the net where Tyler Bell backhands it in. And it's 4-2 Indy with 5:41 to go. Can Page get 2 more goals? Indy win the draw, send it into the Page zone. Icing waved off. Here's Aiden Gardner trying to pass it up to the right point. Harrington Walker keeps the puck in the zone, gets it over to Oscar Dubon. Deflected to the near side boards. Aiden Meyer ahead to Tyler Bell, who knocks it out to center. Now the puck back in the Page zone. Here's Jonah Ferguson. Ahead to Aiden Meyer. Meyer back into the Indy zone on the right wing side. Drops it back. Put it out in front. Now Ryan Ellis in the slot. Shot blocked by Patton. Aiden Gardner behind the net. Put it out in front. Nobody in a white sweater there. It's intercepted by Gardner. Carried back into the Page zone. Has a man all over him. He got to the front of the net and poked it on goal. And Yanu Chile went into the back of the net and knocked it loose. Ryan Ellis put the body on him. Gardner got to the front of the net. Jabbed it on goal. Yanu Chile backed into the net and dislodged it. 4:40 to go. Still 4-2 Indy. Draws to Yanu Chile's right. So a big break there for for Page. Because that suddenly turned into a chance for Gardner. Page win the draw, but then give it away. And Nick Kloss tried to send it back down the left wing boards. And it went off a sticking out of play. They'll drop it to Yanu Chile's right again. Draw one by Indy. Shot from Nick Kloss at the blue line is blocked. Aiden Gardner will clear it out. Cash Brannion trying to pass it up the far side. It's knocked down by an Indy stick. Here's knocked down by a Page stick. And Reeve Gable fires it across the front of the net from the left wing boards of the Indy zone. Now Aiden Gardner brings it out to center. Backhands it back into the Page zone, but right to Aiden Gardner. Oh, and now here's Bryson Patton with a chance. Moving in on goal. A shot stopped by Yano Chile. Rebound stopped by Yano Chile. It's loose in the crease. It was Aiden Gardner with a follow-up. Puck cleared out of the crease. Still in the zone on the far boards. Held into the right point by Brannion. Brannion shot, score! Brannion sent it to the front of the net. And it's deflected in by Gardner. Through the legs of Yanu Chile into the back of the net. And it's 5-2 Indy with 3:37 to go. Page getting the puck out of their zone. Liam Gardner ahead to Braden Owen, and it poked away. And then Gardner takes it back, brings it back into the Indy zone on the left wing side, gets off a shot that went over the glove of Busby. And the puck went out of play on the near side. 3:05 to go. 5-2 Indy. Draw's going to be on the dot in front of the Indy bench. Is there a possibility of Page emptying the net, trying to make up a 3-goal deficit? I don't know. Tate Butcher brings the puck back into the Page zone. Shot is blocked by the stick of Jonah Ferguson on the back check. Here's Hunter Haley. Carrying it back into the Indy zone on the left wing side. Odd angle shot on goal, stopped by Busby, but Braden Owen couldn't get to the rebound. Here's Hunter Haley. Left circle shot turned away by Busby. And the puck is cleared out by Indy. Here's Caleb Mills back into the Page zone. Gets off a shot in the high slot, misses the net to the right of Janu Chile. Puck cleared out by the Spartriots, but dumped back into their zone from center by Nick Kloss. Puck in the left wing corner. Here's Braden Owen behind the net. Carrying it out to the far side. Brought back into the Indy zone, and he falls over from contact with Nick Kloss. And indeed, the Page net is empty. Justin Janucili on the bench for the extra attacker. As they look to make up a 3-goal deficit with under a minute, with a minute and 40 to go. Aiden Garner keeps the puck alive at the right point. Shot through traffic, misses the net to the right of Busby. Oh, and a big hit on the far boards. Elijah Selby taking a big hit. Not sure from who just yet, but they're going to go to the box. I think it's Carson Denning. It's a cross-checking call. Yeah, it is Carson Denning. So Indy on the power play, down 5-2 with 89 seconds left. They got to win this draw and score. They're going to make up a 3-goal deficit in 89 seconds. They've already used their timeout, by the way. They used their timeout in the second when they went down 4-1. Draws to the right of Busby. Won by Indy. Aiden Garner at the left point. Spinning around. Trying to back in the puck down. Intercepted by Nick Kloss. Kloss passes off Aiden Gardner. Shot at the empty net. Score. Aiden Gardner. Second goal of the game. A shorthanded empty netter for Indy. And it is 6-2 with 73 seconds to go. Minute 44 left on the power play for Page. They win the draw, dump it into the Indy zone, and it's icing because it was behind the red line when it was sent in. Draws to the left of Janucili. Won by Page. They clear it out. Last minute of the game. Cash Brannion inside his own zone. Behind his own net. Now, Indy clear it out. Lucas Brown at center. Back into the Page zone, pushed into the far boards. 30 seconds left in the game, and now a minute left in the power play for Page. Now Connolly Meeks through center, back into the Indy zone. Went into the right wing corner, couldn't hang on to the puck. Colin Breedlove, right point shot blocked. Now the puck back in the Page zone. And time runs out on this one. Cash Brannion down in front of the Indy bench. The final buzzer, I'm not sure what happened. Not sure if he took a hit or if he fell over on his own. But what a win for Indy as they dominate this one and beat Page Summit 6-2. I did not get that newsletter prediction right, did I? Indy looked like the real deal, folks. They look like the real deal. What a Page. Just got, well, what a disappointing result for Page, who Indy dominated the first part of that game, and then Page took it over, but they couldn't beat David Busby. By then it was too late. They'd been sunk. They outshot Indy. Well, the board reached 36-23. I think they shorted them a couple, but David Busby just dominated. All right. So the goal scorers in this one for Page, Hudson Halters and Tyler Bell. For Indy Centennial, 2 goals for Aiden Gardner, and the other goals were from Harrington Walker, Caleb Mills, Cash Branyan, and Spencer Pachalko. I'm going to split the Player of the Game award in half. I'm going to give half to Aiden Gardner for having 2 goals. I know one of them was an empty netter, and that's kind of cheating, but I'm going to give the other half. I normally don't give. I'm gonna say this was a blowout. Well, it wasn't a blowout. It was a rout. I normally don't give Player of the Game to goalies in a game where their team won by a decent margin, but I'm going to give the other half to David Busby because Page picked it up. Page picked it up as the game went on, and they only got 2 past him. So Aiden Gardner and David Busby are the players of the game, co-players of the game for this one as Indy Centennial beat Page Summit 6-2. So let's go back to the standings. All right. So, after 4 weeks of play, we got Ravenwood and Nolensville sitting atop the GNASH table at 2-0-1, 2 wins, no losses, 1 tie. Station Camp Liberty Creek Nashville Christian 2-0-0, 2 wins, no losses, no ties. They finally get back to the ice on Monday. Then we got a group of 5 teams at 2-1-0, 2 wins, 1 loss, no ties. MBA Franklin, Indy Centennial, Father Ryan, and Hendersonville Beach Lawson. I'm not really sure how to break. I think, well, Father Ryan have beaten MBA. Hendersonville have beaten Franklin. But MBA have not yet played Franklin, nor have they played Indy, nor have they played Hendersonville. So I'm not really sure how to break them up right now. Page Summit at 1-1-1, 1 win, 1 loss, 1 tie. Ainsworth Lipscomb CPA and the Clarksville Kings both 1-1-0, 1 win, 1 loss, no ties. JP2MLK GCS at 0-1-1, no wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. Rutherford Rampage and the Tennessee Outlaws both 0-2-1, no wins, 2 losses, 1 tie. Brentwood BAUSN 0-2-0, no wins, 2 losses, no ties. And Mount Juliet Wilson Central Lebanon 0-4-0, no wins, 4 losses, no ties. So let's check the schedule for next week. The fall break period of the season is over. Everybody finally getting back onto the ice. Monday at 4:45 here on Rink A at Centennial. Brentwood BAUSN taking on Independence-Centennial. 6:30 here on Rink A at Centennial. Page Summit taking on Station Camp Liberty Creek Nashville Christian. Also at 6:30 on the Terry Chris Brink out in Bellevue, Ensworth Lipscomb CPA taking on Father Ryan. Oh, we've had a change. Oh, they swapped rinks. Well, okay. So 7:40 here on Rink A at Centennial, 7:40 over on Rink B here at Centennial on Monday. Nolensville taking on Franklin. So that means the JP2 MLK GCS Hendersonville Beach Lawson game is now at 8:15 here on Rink A at Centennial, the Rock Castle Cup game. And 8:15 over on the Terry Chris Brink out in Bellevue, Ravenwood taking on NBA. Again, the Nolensville Franklin and Ravenwood NBA games should be next Wednesday. And then next Wednesday here on Rink A at Centennial, 7:10, Clarksville Kings taking on the Rampage. And then at 8:40, the Outlaws taking on Mount Juliet Wilson Central Lebanon. So we're only covering one game next week. That's the JP2 Hendersonville game, Monday. 8:05 pregame for an 8:15 face-off. We're doing an extended pregame because they're going to do pregame ceremony like it's a tournament final, player intros, and the national anthem. But good that they changed rinks because that means I'll be able to do PA. I'll be able to do the player intros and stuff. But I hate, though, that they didn't take the Page Station Camp game and move it to Rink B and then have the Nolensville Franklin game go into the 6:30 A slot because I would have done it. That would have been one hell of a doubleheader. But it is what it is. Oh, well. But, JP2 and Hendersonville playing for a trophy, that's fun. That's fun. I wish that was a thing, more of a thing here in GNASH. But, yeah, just one game next week on Monday, 8:05 pregame for an 8:15 face-off between JP2 MLK GCS and Hendersonville Beach Lawson with the Rock Castle Cup on the line. Before we go, advertising our Buy Me a Coffee memberships. So for $5 a month or $50 a year, you can get a newsletter shout out. For $10 a month or $100 a year, you can be listed in the newsletter. I'll give you an on-air shout out for all games I cover for the team you support, and you'll get downloadable MP3s of all the broadcasts I do of the team you support. Go to buymeacoffee.com. That's BUYMEACOFFEE.com/Mid10Sportsnet. MIDTNSPORTSNET. That's it for Week 4 of the 2025-2026 GNASH regular season. I hope my voice is better by Monday. I got 5 days for it to get better. What a game for Indy, man. I misjudged this completely. I've eaten a lot of crow early on this season in regards to the newsletter. Indy Centennial beat Page Summit 6-2 tonight in the last game of the week. I am Michael Hackney. Have a great rest of your week and weekend. We'll talk to you Monday night right back here at Centennial. 8:05 pregame for an 8:15 face-off. The Rock Castle Cup on the line. JP2 in Hendersonville. Good night from Centennial.